welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then every Tuesday I do some kind of health related post that ties in with my Tuesday Instagram post. It's at Chronicles of Hannah if you want to do a little cheeky follow, I'd love it. But what I wanted to talk about in this week's video is basically how I've learned to be more independent and kind of enjoy being single. I've been single for 4 years. I am starting to slowly date again and you know, build relationships hopefully, but I thought if I can chat it through with you guys and kind of how I learn to be my best friend, then hopefully that will help you guys. So if you want to know how I have built my own confidence and learned to be my own best friend, then keep watching. So you might not know everything about me, but I'm 26, I'm 27 in the middle of May, which is mad. Every time I feel like I'm actually 21. But I used to always be in relationships. So from the age of 17 to 21, I was with my first boyfriend, which is quite a long-winded process. So because I'd been in a relationship for pretty much most of my A-levels, when I was 18, through uni, you don't really have the chance to like get to know yourself. So although I don't regret being in a relationship that young, the problem then is when you come out of it, you're then like, what? Like, who am I? Like, what? You don't have your own kind of goals in life. You're not too sure like what kind of path you're supposed to be on. And then I basically jumped straight into another relationship, which ended up being a complete nightmare, but that's a whole other story. So I then went into another relationship just pretty much within a couple of months, just because I was so not used to being on my own. And I guess the way I've been brought up, because I'm from a small town, a lot of people kind of settle down, they have kids really young, and my life just hasn't worked out that way. So over the last 4 years, I've been single, and I feel like there's like a lot of things that you can do that will help you. So one of my top tips in learning how to kind of redefine yourself when you're single and just learning to love yourself is find hobbies and find things that keep you going, that keep you interested, because you know, relationships, if they last, then brilliant, but I feel like it's really important not to get caught up in just a relationship and living in that person's shadow. I've learned, like, because obviously I'm now 26, I've kind of got like 5 or 6 years of experience and just general life experience behind me, but because I've been in a relationship from 17 to 21, you don't ever really know like what you're doing for you. You kind of just have a focus on doing something for the other person, which is normal in a relationship, but then you actually still need to have your own hobbies. So my biggest way that helped me learning to be more comfortable in my own skin was finding hobbies and things to enjoy. So obviously I got into my fitness. I started looking at meals, cooking more, because again I'd always kind of cooked with a partner, so it's kind of different, and you need to make sure you're looking after yourself. So I got into my fitness. And I've been doing that now for several years, and I really enjoy it. Finding that time for me just really works for me. I then decided to finish my degree with the Open Uni, so I kind of always felt like the relationships that I was in wasn't helping me grow as a person. I kind of felt like I was just stuck and I was going backwards. So having like different ways to keep my mind occupied, especially my degree, it boosted my confidence, and it was something that I could fill my hours with rather than just kind of sit there lonely. I could put my heart into studying. One of the other things that I've learned as well is, obviously I go on about this a lot, but it's making sure that you find time for yourself. So no matter how much rubbish I've got going on in my life, I always make sure that I set a few hours aside every day to do something for me. Because then when I'm having a really bad day, like obviously you know I battle with anxiety, if I'm ever having a really bad day, I can just literally focus on that I've got that time of the day, so there's no excuse for me not to do it. And I always find that once I've started doing something, that's then when I enjoy myself and I grow as a person. One of my other things that I think helps you is, I think when you're in a relationship, you tend to focus on what your partner's looking for rather than what you want. So another good thing about having that time on your own is that you then start to kind of figure out what your style is. Like in the last few years, I've really kind of learned to, you know, not be afraid to like try out big glasses, to try out earrings, to try out red lipstick. It's kind of all been like this like metamorphosis where I've, rather than just kind of sit back and let myself stay where I was, I've just been constantly working on myself. One other thing that I would also say is really important to keep yourself like occupied and keep yourself focused on you, especially when you're single, is to set yourself goals constantly. So even if I'm single, miserable, depressed, anxious, I always try and keep myself focused on, and I'm quite selfish now in the fact that I know that I need goals myself to stay motivated. And equally, I think the most important and another really important thing about learning to be happy on your own is trying to, like, one of the hardest things for me sometimes is when family and friends are like, are you married yet? Have you got a husband yet? Blah de blah. When really life isn't going to work out that way all the time for everyone. So you have to focus on you. You have to take these comments with a pinch of salt, and you have to start like just doing things for you, which is really hard. Like I still struggle with it sometimes, but I'd rather sort of go to my parents and be like, look, I'm not found anyone yet. It's a lot of stress dating someone, so I'd rather just focus on me, and that's when they kind of get it. My final tip as well is to do things that scare you. So one good thing of coming out of a lot of long-term relationships is that I started wanting to challenge myself. I thought, well, I've been through a bad breakup, so I can go through all of this. So I was really nervous, I was really shy, I was really, you know, I battle anxiety anyway, so I am quite hard on myself. So I was like, what is one of the scariest things I can do? One of them was being on telly, which I'm not going to go into, but that in itself scared the life out of me for every single day, but it was so worth it, and I'm such a bigger and better person from it, and I'm dating again now, which is great. One of the first things I did was that I travelled on my own. So I hadn't travelled a lot on my own. Again, I'd been in a relationship so long that I constantly like needed to feel like I was doing things with someone else. So I was like, no, Han, you're not doing that. You're going to start travelling on your own. So I did a trip on my own. I went away for a long weekend. And again, like, you have to kind of appreciate the benefits of being on your own and enjoying your own company. And one of them for me is that you can plan things and you can just do it for what you want to do. So I really love European history, because obviously that was when I finished my degree, that's mainly what my study area was. So I went to Budapest, I went to Vienna, I went to Bratislava, and it was just really nice. I went away, like no one knew who I was, no one had known all the like rubbish I'd been through, and coming out of my comfort zone, although I was stressed and I had hives where my skin was stressed from the anxiety of it, it really helped me. Like, I think sometimes a really good thing to do to get comfortable in your own sort of world and your own head is find new ways to challenge yourself and go out, travel the world, travel to different places, because it kind of helps you see that there's other people out there, there's a whole other world out there. And if you kind of just take the time to kind of find what's right for you and challenge yourself, then that I think is the most important thing about learning to be happy on your own, is keeping yourself moving and focusing on things that are benefiting you. If you keep your mind busy, if you battle through any kind of heartbreak or worries that you've got, then you'll just be just fine, just tickety-boo. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any tips for me on how like you're getting on, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, how do you battle through and find the ways to be you and enjoy life, then let me know. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. As always, my social media links will be down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.